Hello and welcome to day 17 of The Magic. I'm Jason Paul. Now, I hope you're doing really well. The reason I didn't release an episode yesterday was because I've been so tired over the last couple of days. I couldn't believe it. I went to bed last night at 5 p.m. and woke up at 6:30 a.m. today. And I was like, wow, I've slept for a long time, but I think I really needed it. So if I sound a little bit sleepy, it's because I've just woken up from what they call in Spain a siesta. Just to let you all know, I did post it on the Facebook group, some exciting developments. Sarah Deverell, good friend of mine who has been interviewed on the show, as you'll know by now, me and her were talking and we've decided how do we celebrate and mark the end of these 28 days of the magic? And we've decided to host a Zoom call on the 1st of March at 6 p.m. And it's an opportunity for us all to come together and to share our experiences and also to meet each other. And then we've had an absolutely fabulous idea that we're going to turn that Zoom call into an episode of the Soul Sync. It's an experiment. We'll see how it goes, but it's very exciting. So over the next few days, we'll release the Zoom link details. To get those, if you're not already on the Facebook community, just go to Soul Sync by Jason Paul. Sarah and I are hosting it, and I look so forward to seeing so many of you there, and we can share all of our stories in regards to the magic. So when I opened up the book today and saw the chapter, The Magic Check, I absolutely love this day. Now, I've got a couple of interesting things to tell you about this day. So the part of the exercise today is you get a magic check, which is a blank check. It can be any blank check. It can be from a checkbook if you've still got one, but I don't think barely any of us still have checkbooks. I think they're a thing of the past. Or you can download one of their templates, a blank check from the website. I've done this episode because, as you know, I've done the magic a few times before. And funny enough, when I opened up the page at the Magic Check Day, out fell a check. And I didn't even realise that I still had one of these checks in there. It was very neatly folded, and I thought it would have fallen out by now, the amount of times I've had the book out, but it hasn't. And when I looked on the check, it had a check to myself. It was dated the 26th of June 23, being the date that I wanted to have that amount of money by. And it had on there a reasonable sum of money. And the craziest thing was I looked at that and realised around that day I'd actually got that money. So it kind of blew my brain. And I think at the time, because when I wrote the cheque originally, I think I wrote it about 6 months before the actual date of when I wanted the money. And I did actually get it. And is there any better way for the chapter to kind of speak more volumes? But I really believe in this day because I know that there's been times through my life where I haven't had a lot of money. And when I left the police, I was in a really bad situation. I'd bought a flat in London. I'd stretched myself beyond my means to buy this flat, and I must have had only £50 a week to live off, which wasn't a lot to buy food, petrol and whatever. And when I thought about going into recruitment when I first joined, I was making less money every month than I needed to live. So I was having to work in the evenings. And I can relate to what the chapter is saying about having negative feelings towards money. In actual fact, there's been a lot of times in my life where having the benefit of hindsight, which is such a benefit, hindsight is one of those things, isn't it? But sometimes you think to yourself, well, you'd never have thought that at the time. But I can directly correlate that there's even been times in my life where I've had a lot of money and a lot of material means, but I wasn't grateful for what I had at the time. And I've actually then lost that money and nearly got to the point of bankruptcy. And then once I got to that point of bankruptcy, I started to be really grateful for every single penny. And then my wealth suddenly skyrocketed again. Honestly, as we go along on this journey together on Soul Sync, you are going to hear some crazy stories about my life. Honestly, it's a roller coaster ride. I've gone from having nothing to having millions to nearly losing it all again to building it back up again. But I think with that benefit of time and having been through those experiences, I can honestly say that gratitude has been very much the deciding factor on how much material success and wealth that I've had. One of the things that always jumps out at me the most was I'd got my company to a point after a few years where it was a multi-million-pound company, but the stress of it working all hours of the day, trying to manage loads of different people. I was drowning, and then subsequently I started to have very negative feelings towards the business and money in general. Then as a result of that, I nearly lost it all, and then, you know, I was grateful for every single pound again. So I think this is a great day to do, and I think there's something really powerful about the exercise of putting pen to paper and writing out your blank check. I think what the chapter says in regards to we come across money a lot of the time, and I think sometimes we're not even aware of how much opportunity there is to be grateful for money, because I think sometimes you only think of receiving money when you receive it as a bank transfer. But the chapter rightly says that it could be anything from a tax refund to a discount to someone buying you a coffee. There is a lot of opportunity, lots of opportunities to be grateful when it comes to money. So if you haven't done this, you might want to start off by doing just maybe a smaller, more modest amount of money, because, or whatever that might be through your lenses or eyes. Because I think it's a lot easier to believe it sometimes if you start off small. If you're going to put an absolutely whopping number in, you need to ask yourself, can you actually get behind that number and actually have belief in it? And I think what the chapter says in terms of putting your gratitude towards the end result of what you want is exactly right, because you do feel a lot more gratitude, and money is obviously only a means to an end. It's always the end product, the thing that you're looking to buy, the experience you want to do, perhaps the holiday you want to go on. So I love this day. I love it so much because it's worked for me twice, and I'm going to do it again now. And this time I'm going to stick the blank check right on my fridge. My fridge, honestly, if you saw it, it's like a shrine. It's got so many different things on it, and mantras on it, and affirmations on it. Every time I go in and get a naughty chocolate bar, which I shouldn't be eating, the fridge is a glaring reminder of that. I've got meal plans on there. There's barely any space on my fridge. I think it's one of those. The fridge is such a great place to stick these kind of things, because it's somewhere you tend to go into when you're relaxed, you're not rushing. I did once put the magic check on my front door, but with the way I run out the front door in the mornings, I wasn't even stopping to look at it. So this is day 17. It's I can't believe we're over the halfway mark now, and I'm really excited about this Zoom call to hopefully see as many of you on that as possible. Sending you lots of love. I'll see you on day 18.